Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Well, speaking of cartoon villains, Greg Abbott declares that Biden has broken the compact between the United States and Texas, and he invokes the right to defend itself from invasion.
Oh my God, Texas is saying that it's going to do something against the United States, seceding or otherwise? It must be a day that ends in fucking Y.
Yeah.
This stopped being news decades ago.
I mean, but this time there's actually, not really a standoff, but, there are, federal... I don't think it's the army, but there's
it's the National Guard.
Yeah, the National Guard. There's the National Guard is kind of in a standoff with the Texas Guard, or whatever it is. So it's a bit of a tense situation. Now, I'm tempted to say if any Democrat governor had done something like this in an election year, I guarantee you Trump and his campaign team would have been all over that, calling it election interference.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I saw tweets from people today that were talking about this and being oh, well, Biden's fucked now because no matter what he did, he can't invade Texas himself in an election year. You're okay, the election year has nothing to do with that, but sure. But they were trying to say that oh, Biden's fucked because this happened during an election year. And it's yeah. So come to think of it, if something like this had happened and it was a Democrat doing it, you guys would have been all over that, calling it election interference. So maybe Greg Abbott should stop interfering with the election. I know this has nothing to do with the election, but it just kind of made me laugh. Greg Abbott accuses Joe Biden of breaking the compact between the United States and the states. He's invoking the Lone Star State's right to defend itself against invasion of the southern border. Except generally an invasion would be a military invasion rather than refugees
what is
seeking asylum.
Is he just saying invasion because he likes the word? Are we doing the same thing we did with grassroots?
Probably, because it's not an invasion. It is refugees seeking asylum. And there are issues with that system. But putting up barbed wire and deploying the military ain't going to fix it.
Yeah, I feel like guns are not the solution to the immigration problem.
Yeah, there was a time...
Just deploy more gun.
There was a time in American history when there were no requirements for immigration. If you moved there, you're American now.
Give us your poor, you're cold, and you're hungry, something.
That wasn't just a slogan. That was actually policy. But yeah, executive branch of the United States has a constitutional duty to enforce federal law protecting the states, including immigration laws on the books right now. Yeah, which is why the border protection agencies exist and why they have processes for dealing with people seeking asylum.
Oy.
It's not like these people, for the most part, they don't just escape into the population. They end up spending time in jail because that's what your fucked up system does with them while they're waiting for their hearing to determine whether or not they are worthy of asylum.
And then we get to have conversations about how much slave labor we get to let them do in the prison system.
Yeah, and then we get white nationalists saying they're coming to take our jobs when they're talking about jobs that they wouldn't do anyway.
They're coming to take our job. Where? McDonald's. Do you work at McDonald's? No.
I got a
then
comment
shut the
from
fuck up, Greg.
I got a comment from someone a few days ago that was they were saying that they live in an area that has a lot of stores that are understaffed. There's not enough people working at the stores, and there are help wanted signs in all the windows, and usually there's long lines of people waiting to get out because they have to wait for the one cashier to check them out.
Yep.
And this person will apparently they will frequently when they overhear people talking about in their normal conversation do the whole they're taking our jobs thing. Be oh, why don't you go apply? They help wanted. There's jobs if you want to take one of these jobs that you're afraid of them taking.
Yeah. Nobody's saying you can't, buddy.
Yeah.
Was that whole like, we don't have enough people working jobs? Oh no, there's plenty of jobs. I'm working 3 of them and I still can't afford rent. That whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the states should not be left to the mercy of lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. You want to talk about lawless president? Which one has 91 felony counts up against him right now?
Yeah.
But like, even setting that aside, though, historically speaking, the cartels have always been more powerful when there's a Republican president. Like the South and Central American cartels, the drug cartels, the weapons cartels, right, probably the same people smuggling the illegal immigrants across that don't go through the system. They have more power when Republicans are in power.
Because when Republicans are in power, they tend to do the whole let's get hard on crime. And then suddenly that makes the cartels make a ton more money because everything that they peddle in becomes a lot more desirable.
Yeah. And it makes it easier to get guns because Republicans would never dream of passing a legislation that would make it harder to get guns. So he listed a bunch of stuff, said, for these reasons, I have already declared an invasion under Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 to invoke Texas constitutional authority to defend and protect itself. This is an invasion. Like, I would think that these documents would define what an invasion is, and there would have to be something military about it, I would think. I don't know.
It can't just be the brown people are coming up from the South.
Yeah. Abbott's declaration of his authority is likely a response to the Supreme Court's ruling on Monday that federal border patrol agents could cut razor wire put up along the border by Texas. So yeah, they've been putting razor wire up to hurt families with kids that are just trying to, come and have a chance at living the American dream.
Yeah, because the cartel is not going to be bringing people in through, like, by throwing them up the walls and joists. The cartel is going to bring people in vehicles because the cartel has infrastructure.
Yeah, but the razor wire is a picture that they can take and say, look, we're doing something about the border. Yeah. Even though it doesn't actually do anything. I don't know. Republicans suck. They're like, you just remember shit like this when they say that they're pro-life. Like, pro-life as long as it's straight white Christian.
We're so pro-life, we want your life to be scattered all across the wire.